Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, we made it. It is officially September 24th, and what do you know? The world did not end. We are all still here, just like I said we would be, and like most of you knew already. So, to all of you guys out there who may have been frightened by the fear-mongering videos, hopefully now you can breathe a little bit more easy. And just a quick update to this, if you remember in the last video, I spoke about the man behind the September 23rd end of the world date, a guy by the name of David Meade, who is the self-described numerologist and predictor of the calamities to come on the 23rd. And just as I suspected and said, Mr. Meade has now stepped in after nothing happened and is now claiming that this was all just a big misunderstanding, and that this apocalypse will actually start in October. The astronomer and author has now come out to reassure the world that things were actually not supposed to come to an end on the 23rd, but instead, he said, that there will be celestial events on that specific date, which he refers to as simply, quote, time markers. And finally, that the month of October will be the, quote, beginning of the end with regards to life on planet Earth, starting with the 21st of October, which will signal something called a 7-year period of tribulation, where during this time, the elusive, theoretical planet Nibiru will begin coming closer and closer to Earth's orbit and begin wreaking havoc on the solar system and our planet. So, there you guys have it. Just like I said, it was September 23rd, yet another date that didn't come to fruition, and the date has now been pushed back. So stay tuned for updates on that. Oh, and probably the most important is remember to purchase Mr. Meade's new book. Oh boy. But anyway, just wanted to update you guys on what had happened with that situation. But on to the main topic of today's video, something actually real that happened. Very eerie. Still trying to figure out the details of it, but as all of this melee was going on with the September 23rd date, something very mysterious and strange happened. It was frightening to some people, and it mainly happened in California, Southern California to be exact, where on the 22nd, just a couple of days ago, viewers across the southern part of the state had their television broadcasts interrupted with this apocalyptic emergency alert that was accompanied by this ominous voice promising, quote, extremely violent times to come.
You are watching what flashed across some television screens in Southern California just after 11 o'clock this morning. Some heard what started as an emergency alert and turned into a warning of the end of the world.
The emergency alert appeared on the screens of these Southern California residents at around 11 a.m. on Thursday. Videos shared online show the warning against the black screen, followed by the man's voice. Other warnings were said to have included that of what appeared to be a terrified, breathless voice, speaking about a secret space program, and that there are beings from off-world that are not what they claim to be, and that there had been an infiltration of the military establishment, particularly that of Area 51. Now, it's said that this affected people who either had Cox or Spectrum as their cable provider, with one Cox customer saying, quote, it sounded like a radio broadcast coming through the TV. Now, it's still unclear whether the messages were broadcast intentionally or by accident, but broadcast signal intrusions by pranksters aren't unheard of, even in this digital era that we're in now. But it's not likely, we'll just say that. Spokesmen from both cable companies say that the companies don't know how many customers were affected and that it's still trying to determine where the originating signal came from. Cox believes that its system got the message after a radio station or multiple stations were constructing their monthly emergency test, which cable networks piggyback on. Usually radio stations transmit an end tone to complete their alerts. However, this time it seems no such tone was transmitted. Spectrum did not immediately respond to a request from Gizmodo for comment, but a spokesman by the name of Dennis Johnson told the Register, quote, "We have confirmed that we were fed an incorrect audio file." And many viewers reported being alarmed, scared, and confused by this eerie broadcast. Especially the fact that it happened just the day before, the 23rd, with many assuming that this validated the prophecies and the claims that something was going to happen to Earth. There's also been reports from people in Hawaii who also heard the emergency test at around 11 p.m. later that night. Now, obviously, there's people out there, including probably the cable companies, although they're not saying it yet, that this was maybe some sort of hacking attempt. However, other people are already starting to come out and put theories forth that this was something much more, with some saying that it's simply a BS explanation, and that this may have actually been some sort of beta test to see how the masses would react. There have been other people who have actually worked in radio for 10, 20 years, who have actually ran similar tests themselves, and say that there's no way that these signals could have got mixed up, and that it had to have been either a prank or the real deal, and was done on purpose for some reason. But of course, these are just theories, and I thought it was very interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Did you guys hear this message? If you didn't, there's videos of it all over YouTube, and I think it'd be very disconcerting to hear this, even if it does turn out to be a prank, but it was just strange that it happened the day before the 23rd, and then the things that they were saying, talking about violent times to come, talking about aliens, and it's just one of those mysterious things. And if you guys remember, I posted a video a while back about another instance, I believe it was back in the 1970s, where it said that an actual alien being hijacked a television broadcast and spoke through unsuspecting people's televisions. And it hasn't only been televisions where there have been several of these so-called mystery broadcasts or unknown broadcasts. It's been heard on radio many times throughout history, with sounds and what sounds like children's voices coming from so-called numbers stations that are said to be these elusive buildings spread across the world. Many of them have come from Russia that emanate and broadcast these eerie recordings of children just repeating random numbers and words. There was also a case, if I remember correctly, of something that was called the backward music station, which actually doesn't play backward music. That's just what they call it. What it is broadcasting instead is something that has been said to have come from the bowels of hell itself, where people have reported hearing a high-pitched grinding with some banging thrown in, perhaps to make it sound that much creepier. And of course, we have the mysterious signals that emanate from outer space. But yeah, again, as far as television broadcasts go, this one from the 1970s, maybe the early 1980s, truly was kind of spooky. I'll go ahead and put the link to that down below as well. It's a fascinating case. People are split down the middle as to whether that was real or not as well, but I will let you guys be the judge. So, thank you guys for stopping by today. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't yet. And if you have your own strange story or UFO footage you want to get out there, send me an email. My contact info is down below. And again, I just want to thank all of you guys for the well wishes and the messages as I sit here mending this broken leg, but I feel like I'm getting better by the day. And they say I'll be walking in about 4 months. So thank you guys again. I love being back to work, and I'll see you back soon with much more.